Jey Uso just attacked Cody Rhodes. And I need you to understand something before we go any further. I have been watching professional wrestling for over 20 years. I have seen betrayals, I have seen shocking turns, I have seen moments that made me throw things at my television in the best possible way. But I genuinely did not have this on my SmackDown bingo card. Not this week. Not like this. Put the phone down. Close the other tabs. Because what just happened on SmackDown is the kind of thing that splits the wrestling world in half and starts arguments that are still going 3 pay-per-views later. Stay right here. Welcome back to the channel. Let's process this together because honestly I am still not fully okay. So let's set the scene because context is everything. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the man who came back to WWE to finish a story, the guy whose entrance alone can make grown adults emotional in a way they refuse to explain to their non-wrestling friends, was on SmackDown doing what Cody Rhodes does. Being excellent, being beloved, giving the crowd exactly what they came to see. And Jey Uso, main event Jey, the man this exact same crowd has been riding with through every chapter of his journey, the man they have been screaming for, walked up behind him and reminded everyone watching that professional wrestling can still genuinely surprise you in 2026. And look, I am not going to pretend I saw this coming, because I did not. Nobody did, and if someone in your group chat is telling you they called this weeks ago, they are lying to you. They are absolutely lying to you. But here is the thing. Once the shock settled, and it took a minute, I am not going to lie to you, it started to make complete sense. Because Jey Uso does not do anything without a reason anymore. This is not the Jey who was operating inside the bloodline machine following instructions. This is a man who has been building his own identity, his own story, his own lane, and everything he does now comes from a place of deep personal intention. So why Cody Rhodes? Why now? 2 words. Oba Femi. Because Oba Femi recently walked up to Roman Reigns, which was already an insane television moment, and said something that planted a seed in Jey Uso's mind that has clearly been growing ever since. He said Jey does not need Roman, which sounds like a compliment on the surface, but underneath it, underneath those words, is an implication, the suggestion that Jey Uso's position, Jey's momentum, Jey's entire current run is somehow connected to or dependent on someone else's influence. That he is a product of his circumstances rather than the architect of his own success. And that right there is the kind of thing that keeps a competitor up at night. Jey Uso attacking Cody Rhodes was his answer to that implication. It was him saying, you want to question who I am and what I am capable of? Watch this. Watch me make a decision nobody expected. Watch me step into territory that is uncomfortable and complicated and completely mine. No faction. No tribal chief. No permission. Just Jey Uso doing exactly what Jey Uso decided to do. That is a different kind of dangerous. And the SmackDown audience felt every single complicated emotion of it in real time. Then came the message to Oba Femi. And this is where main event Jey fully arrived for Night of Champions 2026. Direct. Clear. Zero room for misunderstanding. Jey looked into that camera, or wherever he looked, you know how these promos go, and told Oba Femi that Night of Champions is not going to play out the way the big man has planned. That the confidence Oba Femi carried into that face-to-face with Roman Reigns is about to get tested by a version of Jey Uso that this roster genuinely has not encountered before. Because here is what every great wrestling fan understands. The most dangerous version of any competitor is not the one chasing a championship for the first time. It is not the one riding the biggest wave of crowd support. The most dangerous version of any competitor is the one who has something deeply personal to prove to themselves. Not for the title, not for the reaction, for their own soul. Jey Uso heading into Night of Champions 2026 is that version. And Oba Femi, as impressive and as physically terrifying as he genuinely is, just signed up to be the first person who has to deal with it. I said what I said. Night of Champions 2026 just went from a premium live event I was looking forward to an absolute must-see television experience that I will be talking about for months regardless of how it ends. And SmackDown just gave us the most compelling and emotionally complicated chapter of the year in one single episode. Jey Uso is not the hero right now. He is not the villain. He is something far more interesting than either of those labels. He is a man rewriting his own story in real time with the entire WWE universe watching and genuinely not knowing how to feel about it. That is the best kind of professional wrestling. Full stop. Drop your honest reaction in the comments right now. Are you shocked by what you did to Cody? Do you understand why he did it? And most importantly, who wins at Night of Champions 2026? I genuinely want to read every single one of your thoughts because this is the conversation the wrestling community needs to be having right now. If this channel is your kind of wrestling content, subscribe, turn on notifications, and bring a friend because it only gets better from here. See you in the next one.